Alright guys, we're going to get started. Everybody would stand, we're going to have an invocation.
Pray with me. Father God, we come to you today, we just praise your name. We thank you, Father, for the ability to live in this country and enjoy the freedoms we enjoy. We thank you for this city and the people that live here. Father, we thank you for the blessings that you've given us. Father, we just pray that you might bless us with some moisture, some rain. We just pray that you might do that. Thank you, Father, for loving us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I'd like to establish that we have a quorum, call our meeting to order. And if you guys would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now to the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. May be seated. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us this evening. Most of you are on the agenda, besides John and Brittany. Okay. Thank y'all all for being here. I want to thank Benny and Juan, the rest of the staff, and Gil, thanks for being with us tonight.
Yeah, our city attorney.
Oh yeah, Brian, welcome. All right, we'll get started. We're going to start on item number 2, the approval of the minutes from council meeting held March 14th, 2022.
Motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is we need to elect the Mayor Pro-Tem.
The mayor, our charter allows council, the first meeting after an election, for the council to choose one of its members as the Mayor Pro-Tem. Currently, Councilman Behrends is our Mayor Pro-Tem. So whether you want to keep him or not.
Earl, would you like to remain?
It'll be fine.
Make a motion that we elect
I second it.
Earl Behrends.
We have a motion second to elect Earl as Mayor Pro-Tem. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, our fourth item is the Heritage Foundation. Scott?
Is this fine, Mr. Mayor?
However, you can sit down, you come up, whatever you're comfortable with.
Use the podium, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, members of the City Council. Thank you, Mr. Sands.
Give a minute. Just got to remind council that this is not an action item. This is, I told Scott that he would be welcome to come talk to the council and propose one that has been discussing. So I want to make that clear.
Okay.
So, this is, I come to you in just a discussion, and if I have not taken the proper steps to be here,
But you have.
I just want to tell you that.
Yeah.
We just here for discussion. We like to get a little information. So I'm Scott Miller. I'm currently the new president of Heritage Water Foundation here in Muleshoe. I'm here with members of the Muleshoe Chamber of Commerce and some of my board members. And we'd like to discuss a few things that we were proposing to do with our Heritage Foundation and the chamber. So, as y'all all know, as Muleshoe, we're having a little struggle with civic organizations and financial needs of these civic organizations. And we'd like to start out with talking about combining our two organizations into one office. The boards will be separate.
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Excuse
yes.
me.
Should don't be like, do the $35.
I'm so sorry.
So, back to it. So, we're thinking that we want to combine for financial reasons and to center our attention on one point in Muleshoe and for tourism. And we'd like to we move the chamber office from this location to our Heritage Board office and have one manager. And the boards will be separate, financial will be separate. We've kind of worked out a deal with Brittany to work 2 days for us and 3 days for the chamber. That's just proposing if this goes through. And so we also like to center our attention to the Heritage Center for our focal point of Muleshoe, okay? And I think that we kind of came to both boards' agreement that the light at Muleshoe is kind of sometimes becomes a traffic jam, and it gathers a lot of trash and in traffic that the chamber board is kind of fighting with the semis and the traffic in general. And so we think that we can ease that problem by moving the office over with us. But we have a lot of expense and upkeep, keeping the buildings in adequate condition. The grounds out there, it takes lots and lots of water without rain. Takes a lot of maintenance. We're going to ask for maybe needing some assistance because both of us are nonprofit, and it's very hard to get the funds to maintain that kind of property. And we want to have Muleshoe looking beautiful. We'd like to have them grounds a welcome spot for tourism to come by and have our events for anything that has to do with Muleshoe. We want that to be a focal point. We have a lot of great ideas about making that the tourism spot by maybe putting a big flag, and one of the things I'd like to discuss and ask maybe the city council or Mr. Sanchez is who owns the building that the chamber office is in right now?
Until November 1999, the city of Muleshoe and the chamber entered into a lease for that particular property. It is like any lease, that any additions of buildings or anything that's put on that particular piece of property becomes part of the real property. Okay? That was the intention. And once that was built there, it became part of the property itself. The city does own the land. So if you look at the lease, and I have a copy of the lease, I can make it available, but that's what it's like any other lease. So any additions, renovations, anything that's done on that property, once that lease is terminated, go to the property itself. They stay there.
So it's an annual renewable lease.
It's a lease for 99 years, $1 a year.
So what you're saying is we own the property, which also internally own the building,
Correct.
the deck.
Any addition or any improvement, anything that was done on that property. And I'm not too sure, but I think a lot of those were city funds that were used for that particular building. I might be wrong, I don't know.
To respond a little bit, there was a lot of fundraising that went into making the deck with people's names and stuff that's printed on there. In proposal, if we do this, some of that wood, that decking, because one of the first and foremost objectives we had to do was we had to ask the Hugh Young family if it was all right if we could move the Hugh Young Center out to the Heritage Center. And I visited with Pat Young and her daughter Tisha, and they were all for it. And we were going to move the Hugh Young Center out there. And with that, since people did donate them boards, we're gonna make some kind of another deck or hang the boards out there to display what people, gave to keep the chamber and have that deck out there. So I just didn't know for sure if we could remove anything, if that would be all right, because that's part of the huge center that was donated to make that deck.
Okay, it's something that I will run it by our attorneys because it is on the lease itself, any improvement, anything that was built on that particular side becomes part of the property, okay? So, right now, as it stands, probably not, but, that we would certainly look into it.
Okay. That's all I'm here really to discuss is looking into our proposal.
Well, it would be an option, it would probably be up to the council.
Okay.
No matter what the lease said, it'd probably be up to us to decide whether, if we wanted to let some of that property go.
Correct, but to answer his question,
Just currently the way it's set out.
Yeah, right now it's owned by the city and
yeah,
that's,
to answer,
but we would have to do something else.
right, so to answer his
This all
question,
works out to do what y'all want to do.
right, correct.
What about the mule? What about Pete? Who owns, do we own Pete because he's on the property?
I think the city owns Pete since it was put up.
Okay.
Well,
We don't know, that's why we're
Yeah.
here, we're not sure about some of it.
That's, before we get into OP, we would like to know for sure, who owns what and who has the right to say what happens to the building and to Pete. And so, if we can further, investigate and find out, that's what we're looking, with being on live, I really don't want to get the word out that we're doing anything right now.
Sure.
But there is a proposal, since we are trying to center our focus on Muleshoe at the Heritage.
So if I'm not correct, and wasn't this brought up one time a few years ago about moving the memorial out to the Heritage Center?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how long ago it's been.
it's been close to 5 years that was brought up by previous Heritage President.
Gino Wilkerson.
Gino Wilkerson, yes, thank you.
Yes.
So Gino Wilkerson brought up that idea.
Yeah.
Ultimately, yes, the council would have the decision or give the say what they want to do. Okay. One of the reasons I told you about no action was for that particular reason. We wanted to hear what you guys are proposing and then kind of looked at, I know John and Brittany met with them earlier, and that was the question about who owned the building. Okay, the chamber does not have a deed to that building because it doesn't belong to the chamber. That's you're not going to find a deed for that property other than what the city has.
So, with what, like you guys are considering, are you wanting the building too?
No.
You don't want the building at all? It wouldn't be any use for you guys out there?
That was my question. Are you on the
No.
building? And
No.
Is your facility, wherever you're at with the Heritage Foundation, is it big enough to handle
Yes.
both like you want to do it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that.
It's actually a much nicer building than the chamber office. It's very new.
Is it on the
updated.
grounds out there?
Yes, and it has nice bathrooms, a place for a shop, like to put the chamber, the t-shirts and the tourist items they have for sale.
Sure.
And a separate office and a meeting area with couches. It's a very well-kept building and very new.
Do y'all keep and I don't know that you do this, like parade stuff? Do you have anything like that that's
No.
stored there also?
Not there.
Okay.
We do have.
I was curious. It doesn't matter one way or the other.
We do have a large barn out there.
Oh, okay.
That we keep lawnmowers and our decorations and stuff. So
Okay.
yes, our Christmas decorations are on the barn and any parade stuff or we have some wagons and stuff, and some order items that we keep there.
Well, I hadn't had any personal experience with it, and that's my fault, but there's been a tremendous amount of work put into that place out there. And I applaud everybody that's ever been involved in that. It took a dead spot out there on the side of the highway and made it something for the whole city to be proud of, for all the citizens. And, just know that even though those of us that haven't participated in any way in that deal, we still appreciate it. I can understand why you want to put all this stuff in one place. You got a nicer facility for offices and what have you. I think when this was brought up in the past, there was an unofficial poll taken, and a lot of people were, pardon me, hell no, we're not moving the mule. It was born and raised right there, so we're not moving it. And that was just from citizens in town.
Yeah.
Me personally, as long as it is kept up and maintained like it always has been, personally, I don't care where it is. Not everybody thinks like I do. So, we got a lot of things to consider. Like I say, I'm sure we can come to an agreement and work something out. I would be willing to go down that path.
Yes.
I can't speak for everybody else up here or anybody else in this town, but maybe reducing the upkeep from there to put it out there might be a smart idea. I don't know. But
It's very hard for change. People accept change.
Oh, sure.
And I know that we're not gonna have 100% on board
No.
if we decide to go this route. But we're proactive, and we like to, see Muleshoe grow and advance to this 21st century. And this is one proposal we're looking at by combining our two organizations and to help benefit Muleshoe, with the tourism and show off Muleshoe. It's not,
yeah.
we have one of the second largest heritage, center in the state. And so we really are on the map. And we'd like to focus our tourism and our town into the
Sure.
one center. So.
And I don't blame you a bit for that. And, it's, we've talked about this off and on ever since I've been on this council. It's been 14 years ago. Muleshoe's pretty unique for this area especially. We've actually grown in population some over the years. We've had a lot more people wanting to put effort into it and make sure that our main thoroughfare through town looks attractive to people on the road, just passing through. And if they stop at a place like that, there's a good chance that they're going to buy gas before they leave town. They go eat a meal somewhere. And it's just better for the whole town. And everybody has been really proactive on that type of a deal, cleaning up some of the lots that just be junk. And they were an eyesore. And a lot of that's been done, but a lot of it probably still needs to be done. And to have a group of people that are dedicated to doing exactly that, that speaks a lot for the town and for the people that are doing it. And we thank you and appreciate it. Like I said, I think we all need to have discussions about this and maybe get out and talk to some people, figure out, what do the people in town want, and do they realize all the time and effort that's been spent out there already, and all you want to do is improve it even more. So people need to know that. And as a nonprofit organization, you don't have the opportunity to get that news or that word out to a lot of people. Maybe we need to make an effort to do that. And I certainly wouldn't be opposed to any ideas in that respect. So.
And that's one of the main reasons that I'm just doing this discussion is to keep it up and keep it looking good. We currently don't have a manager for the heritage center out there, and Kenneth Henry has just devoted his last 3 years of taking care of the property. He is no longer going to do that. He stepped down off the board or off being president, and we're going to need some assistance. Like I said, our main donor that has been keeping us afloat and told us last year that he was kind of done and he was going to move on to some other things. And so we're kind of looking for some grants. We're going to some grants, but we're really going to be low on funds. And this is an opportunity we think that by combining both organizations, we can promote Muleshoe and create some more funds with the help of the city. So, anybody else?
I'll say something from the chamber side.
So, I know many of y'all may not know who I am. I'm John Galba. I'm the chamber president here in Muleshoe, and thank y'all for giving us a minute to come out and speak and kind of just talk. You know, this whole idea that has come about, it was come about in the frame of context from people who all care about Muleshoe. Not just care about Muleshoe, but they want to honor the past, but also try to do better for the future, because let's face it, everybody in here is here for a reason. That's to make everything better for the next generation. So when this idea kind of came to the chamber, we have mulled it around a little bit, but we have not had any detailed conversations from our board. Rick and I both went to the Heritage Foundation meeting a few weeks ago, kind of talking about the idea, and you know, from our standpoint, like I said, our board has not approved that yet. Kind of been busy doing some other things right now, but once some of our bigger online projects coming up within the next month are over with, we'll be able to formalize a better decision on which way we want to go. But one of the reasons we are here is just like we came and met with Mr. Sanchez the other day, but just a way to try to form some unity amongst, not saying there wasn't any, but let's be transparent, because all of us are serving the public. The people put us in these positions to be able to make those decisions. And we wanted all the different entities that were going to be involved in that kind of decision to be on the same page. When we kind of mulled it over, Brittany and I, we thought, man, we really need to go talk to the city, because we, like I said, we don't have any record of who, what, when, where, you know, as far as that goes, just from what people have said about how the Young Visitor Center came into existence. And, you know, one thing that I think a lot of people, Scott hit the nail on the head, there's a lot of people who don't like change, but I'm pretty sure Muleshoe hasn't gotten to where it's gotten because of change, not because of change. Meaning, 150 years ago, people changed and they kept changing to make it to where it is today. And there's probably tons of more change coming to make it where we want it to be by the time people remember us for the deeds we've done today. One of the things that we really want people to understand is that this is by no means a discussion that's taking place to forget anything that was ever done in the past. We've made a few ideas and plans kind of come to light that would honor the people who put that together to begin with, and within the same token, think about the future people coming forward here, whether that be travelers or businessmen or homeowners or whoever that may be. So believe me, we've all thought about this a lot, and even myself, I drive to work thinking, is this good for Muleshoe or is it bad for Muleshoe? Is it good for Muleshoe? So going home back and forth, I'm always good or bad, good or bad. And so every time I drive into the city for work, and I get to my desk, I feel like this is a great move for the next generation to be proud of. And so we're blessed from a chamber standpoint. We have people on the board who feel similarly to what we do, and we're blessed that we have people like the Heritage Foundation board that was willing to be a partner with us on that idea. And so I think for the future, it's just going to be some discussions that we can all have, and some time to think about how we're going to go forward with all this, now that we kind of have a better idea of what really is there and isn't there and which way we go. So we just appreciate your time for letting us come and address it.
I think, I had a couple thoughts. So I think, from what the few details we know of the lease, the Pete belongs to the city of Muleshoe, the building. But I think we need to have the attorneys look at it and see where we will be at on making a decision. If we consider moving Pete, one thing that I would like to say, before we move forward in any discussion, is I would want that to somehow remain under the control of the city of Muleshoe and the city council. Because I think this board's always going to be here. If for some reason down the road that the chamber wasn't in existence, the Heritage Foundation, I'm not saying I want that to happen, but if that wasn't there, I would want the city to still have the control, because there would still be people sitting in these seats. And so I think that would be something that would be important through the process of looking at it. But I think from here we'll have Brian take a look at everything.
And we'll do some more digging into as far as, we all know about the history of the mill and all that. But, you know, throughout the years, some stuff is kept, some is not, so we'll definitely do some, look at our archives and all that.
Can I just add one thing? As you said, you're gonna go out and, you know, talk to some of your constituents and things. So, you know, I grew up here, y'all grew up here, and we remember Main Street being the thriving place, and that's when Pete was put there.
Yep.
And now Main Street is not. Highway 84 is our thriving part of our town, and I love tradition, and I love things about Muleshoe that I remember growing up. So I want everyone to understand that we are not at all trying to do away with anything that was done in the past, that we are trying to move forward. And moving forward is not Main Street. And so if y'all had plans or a grant in place that you're gonna redo Main Street, now that changes things. But if Main Street is not our center anymore, then we need to consider that. So as you go out and visit with someone, that is a point that Vicki Birch is not with us, but she's on our board, that she said as she was growing up, a young girl in Muleshoe, she can remember the day Pete was put there. And that, there was several lights, stoplights down Main Street, and that it was a big deal. He needed to be right there. But now that has moved into a different area. So as y'all go out and visit with people, that I just wanted you to be aware of that point, that we've discussed that in full length in our board members, our board meetings, that is not where the town is really located anymore. And so we're Highway 84, where you can catch those tourists coming. And I know he's on 84, but he was put there because of Main Street. So I just wanted to make that point.
The thing of it is, and I was one of those, that grew up with Dragon Main.
And the mule line.
Yeah. And the thing of it is, back in those days, when old Pete was put there, he stood out like a sore thumb, because it was the only thing there, and everybody driving by thought, wow, And maybe it's because of habit, and I've lived here all my life. I catch myself, I don't even know old Pete is there. There's too much around it now that hides it. It just takes away from that, boom, here it is. And, like I said, I can't speak for any of the council members, but I think I can say we deal with change every time we come to a meeting, regardless of what it involves. So, no, nobody here is opposed to change, because if we haven't, as a council, been a proponent of change for all these years, we won't have what we have right now. Change is inevitable. Sometimes it's good change, sometimes it's bad. We all know that. But change is inevitable. And I'm just kind of one of the old school guys that if you're not changing, you're dying. You're backing up. So we all want what's best for this town. That's one thing that we pride ourselves on. We stay on top of projects that need to be done, upgrades that need to be done. We work on water, sewer, all this stuff constantly. With every dime we can scrape up and get hold of, whether it be through our funds or through grants or whatever, to make improvements, to make things better. We change constantly. So I don't think anybody here is going to be opposed to change. It's just, how can we make this work that it needs to be done?
Were you alive when we put people?
I was right there beside you.
What year was that?
1964. Four? I thought it was 4 or 5, but I couldn't remember for sure. Yes, I was, that would make me 7 years old.
What year was the concert at the baseball park? The Roger Miller concert?
I don't know what year it was, but
Remember that?
I started playing baseball. You know where the softball field is over there?
Mhm.
That old radio station?
Yeah.
There used to be a field there called the U Park, and that's when I started playing baseball. That was even built.
Does anybody else have anything they'd like to add? Any of you guys?
One more thing. I'd like to invite all y'all to come out there. I'll give you a personal tour of each building. We had a deal last summer that we gave tours and gave a little history of each house. So if you haven't came out there, we'd invite y'all. Just give me a call and we'll make arrangements to come see the whole facility.
I would like to see your office facilities. I've seen most of the buildings that are, there's been some stuff added since the last time I was there. I used to take my grandkids there when they were small, and they loved it. Yeah. They thought that was a cool place, so.
Is SCAC still an organization at school?
No, it's FCCLA.
That's it.
Something similar. There's good. Was that a modular came from school, your office, one of those modular business, right? That's what it was.
The office
The office was the building.
originally,
Yeah, on the school system.
I like the video, you'll see at Channel 6. Every now and then when they were moving the ranch house, didn't they?
I've got video of nearly all of them moving, but yeah, the James Ranch House, the Santa Fe Depot,
Yeah,
yeah.
those are pretty cool.
They were touring the James Ranch House before it came to town.
Yeah, I was in the James Ranch House too before it came to town.
Yeah.
So what I would do, look at our archives, see what we have. I will give the city attorneys, send them a copy of our lease, and get some, I guess, some answers for y'all. And then at some point, we'll meet with y'all.
We have a full agenda, you're welcome to stay, you're welcome to leave.
we'll let y'all take care of business.
Thank all y'all for coming. Appreciate it.
Should only take us about 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
20 maybe.
Yeah, it's an hour now.
All right, let's move back to item number 1 and administer the oath of office to our newly elected council members.
Thank you, Mayor. I could have Crystal and Luby stand up.
I know here.
Is it okay? Okay. So, is it okay if we just do this together? I'm okay with it. Okay. All right, if you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Crystal,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of
the duties of the office of
Council Member District 2 and District 1
Council Member in District 1
for the city of Muleshoe,
for the city of Muleshoe,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. And thank you, Zana.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, the next item is to consider the authorization and solicitation and procurement of professional services in conjunction with the city's home reservation agreement. 2021 to 2024, contract number 1003226. Ron?
Mayor, what this does is this allows staff to, like I said, solicitate and procure grant management firm to assist the city in administration of the home grant. We're currently working on one home grant right now. This is, like I said, 21-24. This is a future home grant.
And that's what you guys recommend? This
Yes, sir.
contract?
We've been awarded the contract, so all we got to do now is move forward, So yes, staff does recommend allow us to go out for, solicit administrative services.
All right, I'll make the motion for that item.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. The next item is consider awarding construction bid for the home program number 1002804 to build Kingdom, Lubbock, Texas, for addresses 518 East Avenue G and 305 West 11th.
The city solicited bids for the construction of 3 homes through the home program. We received 1 bid from Bill King of Lubbock. The bid met all the criteria. We recommend the council award the contract to build 2 of the 3 homes. As of right now, there's still some paperwork that has to be completed on the 3rd home. That should be pretty quick, with problems in this month. We will request that award for the 3rd home at a later date.
I'll make a motion that we award that bid.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. All right, item number 7, consider request from the Oneita Wagnon Senior Center for financial assistance.
I met with Oneita Wagnon Senior Citizen Board about a week ago. They're struggling like any other nonprofit organization. One of the deals we're discussing probably ways of raising some funds. They have contacted some folks that want to do some grants for them. Back in 2003, the city council agreed to add $1 voluntary donation to each water bill. Our average is about $1,600 a month that we send to the Oneita Wagnon. The option of making it a $2 voluntary donation instead of $1 has been requested from you to y'all. It is a voluntary donation that is set to your water bill.
Does anybody have any thoughts I'd like to share?
I don't really see any problem with a $2.
Are there any cons to that? I mean, because it's all voluntary, so how does that affect us?
As far as affecting the city, there's not, because it's voluntary. There is a risk of some folks deciding not to do that anymore, okay? So,
They're willing to give $1, but they might not be willing to give $2.
might not be willing to give to, yes. But it's strictly volunteer. All we do is literally collect and then write a check every month to the citizens. And we've been doing that close to, well, ever since they opened up the center.
And that was their request to increase it to $2.
Correct.
I was on the board when the council, when we did the first one, and everybody seemed to like it. I don't have a problem with another $1, but I am involved over there at the senior center, and I don't know if they are as, what am I trying to say? I don't think they're taking advantage of the other opportunities to get funding with the grants and stuff like this. Now, they may be. I'm not on the board. I don't know. It's just talking to people and stuff. And I don't know that I'm for this. I can vote against it and it'd be fine. It'll still pass. But I would like to see.
I'm curious as how much effort is being put into applying for grants.
Exactly.
I've never been involved with grant process of any kind, but I worked with some people back years ago on fire department grants. And I do know from one little experience I've had with trying to help them out with just putting up numbers and grants are hard to get. And I don't care where you're applying for money and who you're, what organization you're with, they're hard to get. And they may be doing everything possible.
And maybe,
And, but I don't know that either.
yeah.
But even if they are, you can't depend on grants because you may or may not get it. And the process may be so staggered out that it doesn't. You know, you're going to get a big windfall if you get a good one, and it may be 5 years before you get another. That type of situation. This is a constant income.
My suggestion might be, stick with what we got. Readdress this 6 months down the road, a year down the road for the same deal. At that time, we can see if there's been any change in the action to acquire. I know they've gone through board members.
If I might say, they do have a new board there. It's kind of like Beverages. They have a new board and they are trying some different avenues. Grants are real competitive, okay? I don't care what kind of grant there is. They're real competitive. The money's not there.
We know we're trying to fix city streets.
Correct. So, and you made a point. This is something that's a constant. You know, it's a constant. Every month, like I said, right now we write a check to them. The new board is trying some different avenues. They are trying to keep that place open.
Sure.
You know?
And I think that place needs to stay open. That's me personally.
Yeah.
I have not been down there as a member or a participant. I mean, I've been in the building a few times for different things, but I don't go down there on a daily or a weekly basis, but a lot of people do. And it's a very good place. They not only provide meals and entertainment and stuff during the day for people that want to go down there and participate. They do a tremendous job, I think, on that. But also, and I just seen this on Facebook a few days ago, somebody's having a class reunion, and that's where they're going to have it. And I'm sure their class, they're going to collect enough money to take care of whatever catering they do or entertainment they have or whatever. They're going to take care of that. But still, they're providing a facility that works very well for that type of thing. And
I'm not against it either. Like was pointed out at the Heritage Center, you know, decades ago, people put into motion what it took to come to this point right here. You know, they've worked and they've sweated and planned and all that, and they've got a good product, and I don't want to see it disappear. I don't.
So I have a question. You said you were here whenever they added that to that. So does anybody, any organization, nonprofit can add that voluntary donation, or that has to all be passed?
It has to be passed to the city.
To the city. Okay.
And to your point, there has been some other
But I'm thinking if
organizations.
we keep adding there, then other people are gonna be like, well, let me get mine in, we'll have the chamber, we'll have the heritage, we'll have so many nonprofits. So,
And that has been brought up. There's been some other organizations that have approached council in the past, and it was not added for. Okay. One thing that the council back when they passed this, saw the need for that center, and it was one way to fund that. Okay. Does that mean that because Scott's here, the heritage is not necessary, compared to the senior citizen? Well, there's no comparison. We got two different deals. That is providing a services to our vendors. That a place where they can go. You made a point, a meal. Some of those folks, that's probably the only meal they have in their day when they go down there.
and it's very affordable.
Yeah. So the council has taken this on a one-on-one basis. But to answer your question, yes, there's been other organizations that have approached council on that.
is there ever an option for them to donate more than $1? Like I know in other bills, you can donate $1 or you could fill in your own. We don't have that option.
Now, this is a set rate that we do.
Okay.
It's either $2 or you don't do it at all because of the headache it would be for bookkeeping and figuring out, okay, I want I want to do $1, but I want to do $5. and
I was
it'd
just
be
wondering, because on like other bills, you know, I just see that. I just-
Right.
I think this is a good thing, and I think that center needs to stay there. And it's also volunteering, and so if somebody doesn't like it, they have the option to not do it. And so, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion, that we approve the request.
I'll second.
The motion is second, all those in favor say aye. All opposed?
No.
I'm not ready.
That's all.
We got 3, 4, and 2 against.
Yeah, so it's still,
And who was the other?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Not to say that we're not,
no, I just think, you know, I would rather put like $1 here, and then I'm all for the city growing, so I would add another $1 for like the heritage. Just kind of like, I would want to balance it more. And $1,600 a month is really good, and I think that's,
I wonder how many people are
you
eating
know,
today.
so,
It's about 900 meals a month.
As I say, I bet there's probably 35 to 40 people down there a day that eats a meal
oh yeah.
on average.
Probably more.
Yeah.
At least.
Probably more.
yeah, probably more. 'cause a lot
Probably
of
more than
money
that.
goes there.
And so I don't think you can find a nonprofit that, well, there's 2 nonprofits in this town that I'd argue affects people significantly more than others. Meals on Wheels, which doesn't have any funding, or the last time I looked into it, they don't have any federal funding or state funding, it's all local, and that's how people get their meals. And then the senior citizens. I think those are the 2 most impactful places in this town.
I agree.
If you ain't ever been down there, you need to go.
I go down there sometimes to eat, but chicken fried steak's excellent.
To see all them people get together and reminisce about old times and old things that's going on, it's pretty awesome.
And 5 over domino games.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next item on the agenda. Item number 8 is consider the contract amendment with South Plains Waste. Ramon?
We're talking about more money. Okay. On our current garbage collecting contract, clause allows for inflation rate. Okay? We all know what inflation has done. Right now, South Plains Waste has requested a 7% rate increase, inflation rate increase. And a temporary fuel surcharge. And that kind of based on that goes up and down. That is based on when we renew a contract plus inflation. That is part of the contract as well. They're not requesting anything that's not part of the contract. So,
And whenever this discussion arose, you talked to the owner
Gary, I do, yes, sir.
about, it would probably be okay maybe if we went along with this, but we need better service.
Correct. So, service was brought up and, he has added a second truck, to alleviate that. Lupe Pineda, who used to be our driver, he's helping him. So we have seen, the calls drop, the number of calls that we were receiving, we have seen that drop. So yes, that was a stipulation that if we were doing this, then we would consider better service.
And this has been a discussion that we've had in the last month and a half, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Since
Since we didn't have a meeting last month, that's why it's being brought out here.
I think especially since our meeting is live, hopefully the people that like to use their social media platform to discuss these things, when they don't know what they're talking about,
Yeah.
hopefully they see this and know that we've been working on the service for the disposal. It's been a several month process.
Yeah, it has, but, you know, he did, it's been over a month, about 6 weeks when he first approached me on the possibility of an inflation rate. Everybody knows that inflation is beyond 7%, you know, but that's something that you feel comfortable with, and I think that's something I feel comfortable looking at our finances and look, you know, the city finances and what we were paying him.
So no, we're paying a little more, but we're also getting 2 trucks and more service out of it.
Yeah, that is correct.
I'll make a motion that we amend the contract with South Plains Waste.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is to consider ordinance O-533-0522, amending the fee schedule.
So that kind of coincides with the previous. So what I am requesting for council, it is a $2 a month increase on the garbage rate. That is, we have several rates, different tiers, commercial, residential, and depends on how many times you get picked up a week and all that. In order for us to sustain that increase from Southwest Waste, it would take $2 a month increase on our service. And that is a change that I am requesting from y'all, proposing.
I move that we approve this.
I'll second it. We have a motion and a second to amend the fee schedule to increase the rate for garbage collection by $2. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item is to consider ordinance O-534-0522, amending Chapter 4, Article 4.02, sale of distribution of alcohol beverages, adding the section regarding late hours of operation.
This ordinance amends Chapter 4, Article 402, the sale of mystery alcohol. What it does, it reflects our current practice, our permits. This will kind of clean up the ordinance that we have in place. That section was, I don't know if it was omitted on the first ordinance of what, but it does reflect, like I said, what our current practice is. This, and Brian drafted this for me last week, so we have a local business that has approached us on being able to do the late hours. The state does allow for, and it's kind of like, because you gotta go Sunday morning, which is Saturday night, into Sunday morning, it allows you to go at 1 o'clock. What this does, it allows you to go at 2 o'clock. It is on a weekend basis.
So everything stays the same during the week, we're just talking about the weekends?
Yes, the weekends. It affects one existing business and another business that has requested a late hour certificate from them.
I'll make the motion that we approve it.
No second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We had a 4-1. All right, consider recommendations for the Muleshoe Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors.
David Morocco and Mayor Alice, their terms up, and they both agreed I'm assuming that you agree? Yeah.
I just got back from the high ground this
There
week,
you
so.
go. Yeah. So yes, they have agreed to serve another term on the EDC. So the EDC board recommends that we reappoint David Morocco and Mayor Alice for their term. Also, at a vacancy, Councilmember Crystal has agreed to serve as the other board member of the EDC. Our bylaws allow for up to 2 members of the city council to serve on the EDC board. She would serve a 2-year term. Everybody also recommend that council appoint Councilmember Alcon to serve on that board.
I'll make a motion to consider that recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is to receive the investment summary for the month ending March 31st, 2022. I'll make a motion to receive that.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item is to receive the financial statement for the month ending April the 30th, 2022. I'll make a motion that we approve that. With a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Administrative reports.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Pro-Tem, Councilmember Mendoza, and staff in the TML Region III Meeting in Lubbock back in March. It was at Five Max facility, Fairmax facility. I believe the program was the use of the American Rescue Plan grants and money, so it is well attended event. City staff, you know, we do a yearly Biggest Loser Challenge, and this year employees lost a total of 103.4 pounds together. It's probably the best participation we had in many years. Everybody does good. We do it for 13 weeks. One of the others, we kind of hold each other accountable, and so it's a great deal. We kind of do that in conjunction with our wellness, so that we do every year. So
Is there a winner?
There is a winner, Alex Castillo. He lost 6% of his weight, you know, so we do weight, percentage of weight. Had several that did right there. Yeah, we had several guys, but, you know, 5 to 6% of the weight. So it's good. So we do have participated in Public Works, City Hall and library staff, and police department. So we have a pretty good deal. It's a good thing for us. The water park is scheduled to be open on the 31st of this month. We started getting applications for that. I guess Public Works is working on getting it ready, so we should be ready to go then. This year, the Youth Vision Day at Lake Muleshoe will be on the 4th of June. We always try to have it on the first Saturday of the month of June.
It's such a great event.
Yeah, it is.
We normally have over 100 participants.
Oh, yes, easy. I contacted the wildlife, they're refuge are the ones that provide fish for us. So
It's awesome.
So we're set for that. Moving in the park, normally we have the third Thursday of June, July, and August. This year we're looking at possibly having it in May as well. Weather, you know, it's not as hot as it, so we might do some trading on what we're looking at May. The budget process has started, so at some point we'll have a budget work session. We'll schedule at a later date. Again, cybersecurity training has to be conducted yearly, so I know how you feel, Councilman Behrends, but it's one of those things I have to tell you.
Well, yeah, we passed that organization, we're not doing that.
Is that what it was? Okay.
I remember.
Yeah, y'all remember that?
You can just say that's the state.
What you passed on, the opposite? Okay. Now, that, Selena will be in contact with y'all, and we'll have to do that. Yes, June the 15th. It's pretty simple. You know, you have done it before. It's a matter of filling in some of the claims by you. Some updates on some projects, you know, we've been pretty busy. CDBG, water line replacement around 8th Street on that. It's completed, other than the punch list, that has to be completed, you know. We're near there, so that's almost completed. The lift station, the rehab, we have started the rehab of the lift station. The damage was worse than what we anticipated. We're having to reconstruct a lot of concrete. One of the deals I like, you know, that citizens know, be careful what you're flushing down your drain pipes. You know, that's something unfortunately caused a lot of damage to our lift station. And that's not a very old lift station that we're having to rehab. And it's a costly.
4 years old?
About 4 years old.
Is that the one out there by the ballparks?
Yes, that is our main lift station.
How much did we spend on that lift station?
so far, or?
When we
To
rebuild
build it,
or-
a little bit over 600,000 miles. Right now, we're looking at close to 100,000. So it unfortunately, it's one of those things. Seal coat. They weren't gonna be here yesterday, I thought, no, it's Mother's Day, hold on. So in a couple of weeks, they'll be in town doing some seal coat. We normally try to do around 50,000 square yards. That's what we try to budget for. One of the deals in landfill, well, that one, I'm kind of excited about this one. It's been in the works since 2016, between permits, applications, between engineers, the state, construction of a cell. We had an inspection by TCEQ on May 4th, and we're this close to being able to put waste on the new cell. That is what we call a C&D waste, a type 4. But as I said, it's been in the works since 2016. Between construction, permits, it's a process, 4 to 5 years to get a permit.
The permit for that was 275,000?
That one, we budget 275 for. So yes, construction of the cell between labor and fuel and all that, you're looking at possibly 150 to 200,000 on that. So what that does for the city of Muleshoe, it provides a long-term facility where we can accept garbage.
Our own and other people's,
Yes.
that we make revenue off of.
Yeah, yes, sir. We do that. We're allowed to take 20 tons a day. Muleshoe produces around 14, so we're able to sell roughly between 5 and 6 to other entities. But that's something that's been in the works for 6 years, so we're excited about that. The new amendment to the landfill that we're looking at will provide the city of Muleshoe roughly 100 years of space.
Good deal.
So yes.
Wonderful.
And that's all I have.
Thank you.
I know you attended the high ground.
Yep, we attended the high ground last week. They had a kind of a site selector meeting, and they brought some site selectors in that they just kind of work for big companies whenever they're looking for a place to place their business, and that's kind of what a site selector does for that company. They find the location and make sure it fits all that company's needs. Attended that is a great meeting, held by the High Ground and Casey Coker, our Bold Economic Development Director, and very educational. And it's good that we're there. It's nice to have some presence there.
It is.
Does anybody else have any other comments?
I just had a question. I see notices in the paper on Facebook or something that we're looking for active applicants.
We are.
Patrol officers.
We currently have several openings in the city of Muleshoe. We do have 2 patrol officers and an animal control officer as well, part-time dispatcher, and Public Works has 2 openings as well. We're taking applicants for the pool and summer help. So this is the most openings that I've ever seen at one time in the city of Muleshoe since I've been here.
Were you getting applications?
Very little, very little. So if you know anybody wants to work, we might be willing to accept somebody. It's just not. And so we are in the process of hiring.
It's hard to find these days.
Yes.
It is, yes.
Have a huge population and not many that want to work.
I mean, yes.